Hey guys, GG Prime here, and today I'll try to show you how I farm my currency in an effective way without wasting too much time. So first thing, you already noticed surely, the trade chat, it's full of trash. People just spamming their walls of shit into it, and no one is actually going to buy anything out of it. It's just items you will never, no one will ever use those items. So first thing we're gonna do here is just close this shit. So let's just open our own shop. To do this, you will need a lot of stash tabs. Try to organize them well. Link them into the forum with spoilers, and finally link the whole shop to a site like PoE Explorers. Since sheer grinding of maps over and over again gets very boring, here's what I do. I start a new class every time I hit level 85, because at level 85 you will need high level maps and you will need to spend a lot of currency into it if you want to proceed with leveling. And if you stick with level 68 maps, which are actually effective to farm currency on, it will first take ages to level up, and secondly it will get very, very boring since you just won't proceed in the game. So here's what I'm doing. After I reach level 85, I'm gonna quit this class, gonna level a new one up to level 69, and at that point I will take all the gear from the 85 one to the 69 one, and I'll just rush those maps easy peasy, no problems. I'm playing a Ground Slam Heavy Strike build with all my classes. I got the Ground Slam linked with multi-strike, fast attacks, melee physical damage, life leech and added fire damage. If you can't afford the 6 link Maroi, you should go for 5 link and maybe skip the life leech and buy a Carnage Heart Onyx Amulet. It's great if you don't have accounts, since those 25% less life won't hurt you too much. Gives you great amount of all attributes. It gives nice resistances and those 10% life leech on physical damage. All the other gear parts should be a mix, so you reach at least 4000 hit points. You should have all resistances maxed to 77. The Kairos resistance should be at 40%. And try to get as much item rarity and item quantity while keeping those defensive stats at max. The big core of this build is this weapon here I got in the second weapon slot. It's a Reaper's Pursuit, which you can already buy for 1 to 2 chaos. It's actually low roll, but I don't care. It can roll up to 40% increased rarity. What we're gonna do is we hit a boss or a magic pack or a rare monster down to 10%, and then we just gonna hit the X button and switch for the Reaper's Pursuit and give him the last hit. So I got here a skill gem. I'm using Lightning Strike, but Ground Slam is probably the best, linked with item rarity and item quantity, and this item gives us a shit ton of rarity and quantity just for free without any DPS loss or resistance loss or hit point loss. It's big deal. I also bought this new flask here, but it's not that great actually, because it doesn't work if your life pool is at 100%. It's great for bosses though, but 6 exalted orbs, it's too much. Not worth it. Rolling maps is pretty easy. You can follow a shit ton of guides telling you to put a lot of currency into it, to try to keep your map pool maxed, but that's not how I'm doing it. And yet it's working very good. So here's how. Every map you wanna play, let's say you start with 67 maps, just use an alchemy on it. And if it hits temporal chains, re-roll it with the chaos orb. But if it doesn't, just do the map. If you don't have too much problems, if your gear is fine, one alchemy, do the map. That's it. If your gear is not the best, I would even just use a transmutation chart and run it. And not even going to try to maze it, because 5 alterations, that's already one alchemy orb. You can go up to level 73 maps, that would be the maximum I will ever play. Every other maps that drop on those like 74, 75 maps can be sold. I get 1 exalted orb for a 74 map and even 2 exalted orb for a 75 map. I'm also not using any chisels. The only maps I'm gonna roll very good are the level 72 Torture Chamber map and the level 73 Cells map. Those are the only maps I will chisel and try to maze, because they are really much better than any other map you can get until then. You will need a lot of Scrolls of Wisdom for all the loot, and I'm buying them 200 for 1 Chaos or 800 for 1 Gem Cutter Prism. I actually loot every rare item on the ground, just identify it quickly and swap it with other items. I will never leave a map multiple times just to vendor my identified rare items. Just let them on the ground, move on, need to be fast, need to find the really expensive items. Every currency that drops on the ground comes into my stash, and as soon as I can buy an exalted with one kind of currency, I will do it. Actually, I'm always buying an exalted orb if its price is average or even below average, but I will not overpay for any exalted orb. Always go up in exalted and never go down in exalted orbs. The only thing we're gonna use our exalted orbs for is to get better gear. Never try to sell an exalted orb and then go for 6 link rush or something stupid. Really keep those exalted, buy the stuff like this. Don't try any kind of lottery. You need some trading experience to sell your items, and even if people get mean, angry because you try to sell something too expensive, it's always better not to make a mistake on some really good items. On the other side, it's better to sell some average item for less than just keep it in your stash for months and months and not getting rid of it. Also, after each patch, there will be new unique items. If you find one of those, just try to sell them as quick as possible. For example, the multi-strike, I found 2 after the first patch day, and I sold my first one for 8 GCPs. If you have any other questions, just ask them in the YouTube section or on Reddit, and good luck with farming. Bye.